I'm at the etrailer. Today we're going to be talking about our SumoSprings on our rear suspension on our 2023 Jeep Gladiator. So our SumoSprings is going to be great because compared to our stock ones, it's going to be almost twice as long, so it's going to make contact with your axle a lot sooner than what's going to come stock. And that's going to be great for if you're hauling anything, you have anything in the back, maybe not a lot, but a decent amount. This is going to make contact first. And for that first 20%, it's going to be a very nice cushion, very light duty. But then after that, it's really going to put a lot more pressure and be a lot more sturdier. And now with them installed, we can take it out on the road, see how it feels. We're really watching for how it's going to compress down and make contact versus just the standard ones. And we're trying to see how the turns feel, seeing if there's any reduced body roll. So when we compared these, we did our SumoSprings on one side and our stock one on the other side, just to see how they held up to one another. And the SumoSprings really helped out a lot. As you can see on the bump course or the speed bump course, our stock ones aren't even making contact as compared to our SumoSprings, which is staying within the 20% range, which is just great because it's not too jostling. It's just giving us a little bit more assistance as compared if you had another suspension enhancement on back there. If it was getting in that 20% range, it would still be pretty jostling. But then when we move over to the serpentine area, you can really see where it's kind of helping prevent any of that body roll compared to what comes stock. Not even helping at all. And then when we go off-roading just a little bit, you can see maybe 1 or 2 times where the stock one is making contact, but it's not helping a whole lot. Now our SumoSprings really putting in that work, is going a little bit past that 20% range now and really giving us that assistance that we need. Now with both of our SumoSprings, they're going to have some pros and cons. With the blue one, it's going to be great for maybe your everyday use, light duty off-roading, something that's going to be comfortable to drive on. Because you're going to have that first 20% when you do make contact, it's going to be nice and soft, very cushiony. Then after that, it's going to apply more resistance. And now, if you're using the black one, it's going to have a higher weight capacity. This one's going to be 1,800 pounds as opposed to your 1,400 pounds with the blue one. And this one, when it reaches that 20%, then after that, it's going to apply more resistance. And it's going to give you more of a sturdy drive. Now, it's not going to be as comfortable, but if you have this constantly loaded up in the back, you're going to want that extra support. Now, when we're taking a closer look at the design of it too, what's really nice is this rib design. And what I like about that is when it compresses, it's not going to expand horizontally. It's going to stay very vertical. So you don't have to worry about it expanding and making contact with your springs on the side. And with that microcellular urethane, if it makes contact with any of those oils, salts, or even UV rays, it's going to be able to stand up to the test of time. Now, as far as the installation goes, it's very straightforward, pretty easy as compared to some other suspension enhancements. All you have to do is line up this top ridge up here and just stick it up into this cup. Now, between the two, the black one might be a little bit more difficult to install just because it doesn't have that rounded edge at the top and it is a little bit thicker. But if you need a hand with it, just stay tuned and we'll show you how to do it. Now to start off the install, we're going to jack up our Jeep and put our jack stands on either side. And now I'm just going to take off the tire so we can get a better look at it. You don't have to if you're installing it on your own, but let's just get a better look at it. And like I said before, we just took the back tire off to give you a better view of this. Now we're just going to spray some soapy water, and this is just going to help us loosen everything up. Now we're just going to take a trim tool and pry it out in this cup. Just like that. And we're going to be installing our light blue colored ones, and that's going to be able to withstand 1,400 pounds. Now, if you need something for heavy duty or loads, then I'd recommend installing the black ones, which are going to be able to handle up to 1,800 pounds. But the installation process is going to be pretty much the same, and we'll just slide it up until those tabs line up and catch on that jounce cup. And after when you're done with this, just repeat that same process on the other side. And if you took your wheels off, make sure to just put them back on. Then just lower your Jeep back down to the ground and test out your new springs.